house that needed everything fixed. So I explained to her, yeah, I can fix the window. I go out and grab glass and fix the window. And also at the same time, I'm letting her know, by the way, I do handyman work, here's my card. So, gotta make a buck somewhere, you know. And that's how I solved this ethical dilemma. Fellow Toastmasters.
All right, so that concludes our tabletop fix section. So, timer, were all of our speakers in time? Yes. All right, so now at the bottom of your ballots, fill out who you thought was the best speaker and pass it into the middle. Now we'll transition to the evaluation section. I'll invite Zach Barbies back up to the stage to transition.
And like Tyler said, it's on to the next portion of the meeting. And this is my favorite part of the meeting, some people's least favorite, but I'm holding it again this time. So, and it's because this is the part of the meeting that we learn to grow as public speakers, or communicators in general. So, to actually conduct the evaluation portion of the meeting is Toastmaster Jeremiah Bone.
So I'm going to be heading up the evaluation section. The first evaluator is Ikra, and she's going to be evaluating to 10.
Other way around. Chris.
Okay, you're going to be evaluating
Christopher.
Okay, we switched roles. Linda will be evaluating to 10.
The theme for today is just wing it. And that most certainly is true for my evaluation today, because I was under the impression that I was to be evaluating number 7, research your topic, only it turned out to be number 8, to get comfortable with visual aids. So my visual aid attention process was not as good as it could have been. But what I got out of Jatin's speech today was that we are not living our full potential and therefore not evolving, because we've become slaves to technology. We spend too much time just surviving daily versus pursuing our dreams and therefore thriving. And I think those were very good points that you made in your speech today. For the time, you were very confident up here. You were very good with your visual aids. You exuded confidence. Your movements were appropriate. I remember you walking along like this, you know, for the caveman before we stood upright. And I like the fact that you ended your speech with a strong statement. If you are not crazy about your dream, you are not serious about it. And you pointed out that only 1% of the human population lives their dream, and those tend to be the ones that make a big difference in how people live, with designing the telephone, etc. For the visual aids that I did see, and I'm sorry I didn't see all of them, they were very clear to me. There was not too much information on the visual aids at all. They were very clearly shown up here, nice and large, so people could see them. And your points as you were talking about them with the bacteria and with the dog in your speech worked very well. I thought your word choice was very effective for what you did throughout the speech. For a suggestion of something to improve would be to list more ways that people are wasting their time besides just being involved with social media. I know that's a big time sink. One of my time wasters is internet surfing, and I can just drop into a hole for hours and then I'm in bed late. But if you would give us more examples of that. And I also liked your comment that the words we say to ourselves, about ourselves in the mirror at night, are the ones that are most powerful for us, because what we think about ourselves really determines the sort of actions and things that we will take. But thank you very much for letting me evaluate your speech. I enjoyed it very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda, for that very detailed evaluation. Our next evaluator is Mike Bood. He'll be evaluating Nasir Wise.
I have to say, first of all, that was probably your best speech out of the 3 you've done. So I just want to give you congratulations for that. So how I like to organize these evaluations, I like to do something called a good sandwich, where you start off with something good, and then in the middle of your evaluation, say something they could improve on, and then end on a good note. So that's what I'm going to do today. So one thing I found that was really good, you were really funny in your speech. I was actually surprised because in this speech, there's nothing about humor, but you made it work somehow, so which was nice. And another one, you had really good body movement. When you moved around, like what I'm doing right now, but yours is better. But your movement was very natural, and it seemed you like rehearsed it in a way, maybe. Although the theme is just wing it, so you just think about that. But it was very natural. I could see that you weren't nervous at what you were doing. So some things you can improve upon are when some of your transitions between your topics were a little choppy. It's like you had to listen to it 100%, 110% to see how your speech changed topics. Like if you were to not pay attention for 10 seconds and then when you listen back, it's hard to follow. So you have to listen, like transitions should be smooth. And another one, when you were talking to this lady right here, you didn't really speak as loud. So from where I was sitting, it was kind of far away from you. I couldn't really hear what you were saying. I know it's like an intimate moment, but but you gotta make sure everyone hears it. So, and then the very last thing, the good parts. Your points were really good. This is the third speech. It means get to the point. And the purpose of this speech is to explain a topic and explain the reasons why it's good or bad. And I feel like you did that perfectly. And you were very natural, like I said before, like not just moving around, but talking as well. So that was probably your best speech so far, and thank you.
Our last speaker was Christopher Travers, and we're going to have Ikra come up and evaluate him.
Okay, so Christopher is quite the seasoned member here, so evaluating him is a tough job, but I will do my best. So I'll start with I'll do the good sandwich method, which, as Mike explained, start out good. Sprinkle in a couple of things that could be better, and then finish off strong. So, your intro was solid. That was really cute, getting the theme out here and being like, here all I should take. You guys didn't know it, but you are. That was really cute. I loved it. So, and you were like, good intro, which it was, so good job. But I loved that you were so comfortable with your visual aids. Like, you'd be looking at me and the slide would change. You know, and be like, yeah, you forgot this. and the slide would change, and I'd be like, wow, like you knew your presentation so well. I know the theme is just wing it, but that was great preparation, and being at ease with your aides like that makes the rest of us at ease with your presentation, because you're like, wow, he knows his stuff. I'm gonna buy jukebox, whatever it was called. So juke. I'm just kidding, but solid app idea. But I like how you started with ingredients. Cute little picture of a cake, you know, starts out with rough things, we pack it all in, and then we can all have a party because there's a cake. But, and then you went into domesticated animals and threw in some good humor, picking on our old president here, but that's always a fun thing to do. Sorry, Alex. I wouldn't say appropriate content, but very appropriate humor for what he was trying to show, domestication of animals. So, cute slide there. But, so a couple of things I would recommend you improve on, which is hard. Trust me, they were minor things and I was squinting for them, but I found a couple. So wandering is always, I'm doing it. Wandering is something we all do when we get nervous and we get really into what we're saying. We don't always keep track of what's happening down here, just what's going on up here. So sometimes when you would kind of forget where you were going, you'd be like, and kind of wander here, and I'd be like, ah, and then you'd come back. So that was good. Very little, but it was there. So, you spent some time in your ingredients and domesticated animals example, and I kind of got lost in the beginning. I was like, wow, where is this going? But then you brought it all back in the end, and I think your conclusion was really strong. The body, though, I was like, you made a cake, and then we have Alex on a horse. Mutations, but then you brought it all back together, so it was good. Transitions were smooth, but I did lose you for a second in the beginning. I was like, wow, where is this going? But then you brought it back in with Juke. Combination app, the one you guys didn't know you needed, but now you want it. So I like that, was cute. So, perks of playing your own music, bringing up a relatable situation, like, you know, you go out downtown and then you're like sitting there, I don't drink, but I'm sure I've had to suffer through bad music when I go out too, and you just have to sit there and you're like, ah. So, but overall, bring it all back together, you had a successful conclusion, nice punch, brought it all back down to the ingredients packed in, and what you got, the app you need. So, thank you.
And I'm going to give the evaluation for the meeting in general. So it is 6:28, so we are definitely on time, possibly a little early. We probably could have done a few more table topics. One of the things I want to complain a little bit about is we didn't have the technology right today. Jiten didn't have his, laptop connected right, so that wasn't set up, and then also Christopher didn't have the sound set up for his speech. And because Fahim came in late, Jiten had to kind of put up his speech a little bit to accommodate for that, passing out the slips. So that could have been improved on a little bit. I feel like I had a good flow for the meeting. I think that was pretty good. Like I said, we're on time. And I felt like Linda's evaluation was very good. And I feel like we should take that into the next semester, how very detailed it was. I feel like, you know, a lot of the times we're not as detailed as that, and I think that's definitely a positive thing. So I appreciate that. Overall, that was a great meeting, good last meeting, and I hope that Tyler and the rest of the leadership team will be able to do just as good as Alex did this year. So it's been a great year, y'all, and that's my evaluation.
All right, so the evaluation portion is over, but we still have to vote for the best evaluator, correct? So please fill out your slips and pass it to the center. Oh, first, before evaluating all that, how did the evaluators do on time?
Yeah.
All of them good? All right, so change nothing. And
If you have any other feedback slips that I didn't put before, just go ahead and pass those down along with your vote.
wrapping that up. The grammarian and off-counter still need to be called up. So let's start with the grammarian. How do we do on grammar?
Oh.
Jessica.
Oh, sorry. Hi. I'm Megan. Overall pretty good. Did you 10? A lot of times you left off with the word you when you were saying a sentence. So for example, you would say something like blah blah blah, waste our time every day to they, or you waste our time every day. On the quote that you put on the slide, you forgot to put the word about. Other than that, it was very clear when understood what you were saying. This year, you stumbled a little bit when you're talking about blah blah blah, your life, blah blah blah. You said something else, and then you said you can do stop so many stuff. So that was something I've noticed. Chris, you stumbled a little bit in the middle, and that caused your sentence to not have the correct grammarian structure. You said something, then you said sorry, then you back up, then you said something else. So yeah, should be mindful of that. If I don't call your name, I didn't notice anything from you. Alex R. You said I asked, ... Then you said something about listen, and then you talked about going to the teacher. It was something that you said in between that made the sentence not really sound like a sentence. And then Linda. When you said, oh, sorry, not Linda, Ikra, sorry. When you were saying evaluating him is such a tough job, and then you started to say something, and then you stopped to say something else. So just, I feel like overall, a lot of times people are saying something and they stop and say something else. So just, I don't know, they're hearing what you're going to say. They were the line of just winging it, so that's perfect.
And then on to the odd counter.
Thank you. So I did hear some ums and ahs. I did hear something that we are watching at our meeting, the use of so and. Many of us have cut down on our ums and ahs, but now we instead say so and a lot. So I did hear a little bit of that. Great meeting though, and I'm the queen of and. So thank you.
I remember in my third meeting at Toastmasters, my evaluator told me my entire speech was one long sentence because I only said and so at the end of it. So.